Hey guys, welcome to another video. I want to give my reactions to the top 3 fights of UFC 258, so let's get right into the video. Let's start off with the main event of UFC 258, where we saw Kamaru Usman defeat Gilbert with a 3rd round TKO. Like, what an amazing fight. The tension between these two guys was just incredible, and you can see that in the intense stare downs at the weigh-ins, before the fight, and even in between rounds, just showing the competitiveness and the eagerness to be champion on that day. And a lot of people thought that this was more important for Gilbert because he's the one wanting to be champion. But I think there was equal importance even for Kamaru, because he is the most underappreciated champion we have ever seen. Especially after that Jorge Masvidal fight, having that more than 10-minute clinch control time. It must have bored a lot of fans. And that's why he doesn't get the respect and appreciation that he deserves. But he clearly got that respect at UFC 258 with a fucking TKO against Gilbert. So in the fight, we have the first round, where we have Gilbert display amazing striking skills. He was even able to clip Kamaru, like wobble him, which we have never seen before, and boy was the whole world shocked. Like, I can only imagine how the sparring sessions between the both of them would have gone. And we instantly knew that this was Kamaru's hardest test. And boy did he pass that test, because we have the second round and the third round. Well, especially in the second round, because the third round ended quickly. But in that second round, Kamaru Usman showed championship mentality, man. Like, him and Trevor Whitman have produced magic in the octagon, where he used the jab, hid behind that jab, and completely shut down Gilbert offense. Like, any time that Gilbert was trying to throw something, boom, the jab. Boom, the jab. And he was able to knock him down twice. And there was an amazing moment where Kamaru Usman produces this pullback counter, which we have never seen. We can clearly see that that combination between Trevor Whitman and Kamaru Usman is really paying off. Then we have the third round, where Gilbert gets TKO'd. No one expected this to happen so soon. I mean, when Gilbert was on his back, I don't think he even expected for Kamaru to come forward. He just thought that Kamaru wouldn't even dare try play jiu-jitsu with him. But he just landed that ground and pound, and it was nasty, man. Did you see Gilbert's face afterwards? Woo-wee, bloodied up. And I mean, Kamaru Usman does deserve that respect. And you can see in his post-press conferences, he is begging for Jorge Masvidal to fight him. He is begging for it. You know why? Because that was the fight where he lost all the respect. Especially with boring fans, like I said earlier on, with that 10-minute or more clinch control time. And he wants Jorge Masvidal for the next fight. And Gilbert is still competitive as ever. He wants to get back into that gym. He wants to still compete and one day become champion, which everyone would like to see too. But this is Kamaru's octagon right now. The welterweight division is literally owned by Kamaru Usman. And what an amazing champion. And all I can see from now is him just winning. He's a true he's a true champion, and soon he'll become the GOAT for sure. Let's move on to the co-main event, where we see Alexa Grasso defeat Maycee Barber with a unanimous decision. And I want to start off with Maycee Barber. Although she may be young, she's 22 years old, there was a lot of hype behind her, especially in the flyweight division. But after watching all her fights, and even this fight as well, there seems to be this common problem with her striking, which I just have to address. To the untrained eye, if you watch Maycee Barber, you may think that, oh, her footwork is amazing, she's light on her toes, she's able to explore those different positions where she can maintain, hopefully, and attack her opponents. But honestly, when you watch her fights, and especially in this fight, her footwork has always been all over the place. She doesn't know how to maintain that range. And the biggest issue that I have, especially watching her, and especially in her striking, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing her. She's very young, she has a lot to learn, but I just want to point this out. Where, when she's outside the range, she doesn't know how to surprise her opponents coming into the range. Let me explain what I mean. Like that transition when she goes out of the range to coming into a distance where she has to fight with her opponents is not surprising enough. And her opponents seem to see that every time and literally clip her as she's coming in, or counter very easily. Like, she's not explosive enough when she comes into the range. And I personally think that she doesn't know how to maintain that range. She doesn't know where she doesn't know if she's close enough or even further away. Because especially in this Alexa Grasso fight, she was doing feints, like jabs and head movements and taunts with the head, like jerking her head forward from way far out, where nothing was surprising Alexa Grasso. And Alexa Grasso was composed, approaching her meticulously and countering her and attacking her appropriately with precision. And with Maycee Barber, she just seems to be all over the place, man. She just doesn't know that range. And she just seems to get clipped every time she gets in that fighting zone. Every time she has the intention to attack, she just gets that counter very easily. She's just not surprising enough. And I'm telling you, it's that transition from outside the range to inside the range. And then we look at Alexa Grasso. She's coming up from the strawweight division. And she was able to deal with it really well. We can tell that she was struggling to cut weight for the strawweight division, and now she's at a perfect weight and she's able to clinch really well with someone as big as Maycee Barber. That Maycee Barber is huge for that division, and Alexa Grasso did so well clinching with her. I know Alexa Grasso didn't particularly have more strikes in the clinch than Maycee Barber, but still, the reversals, holding her against the cage for a bit, it was a really good performance for Alexa Grasso. So let's see what's next for both these fighters. Let's start off with Maycee Barber, for example. Look, there's nothing to worry about for Maycee Barber. She's only 22 years old. The fact that she got into the UFC at 20 years old is actually an inspiration. She has so much to learn. She kind of reminds me of Max Holloway in a way, coming in so young and having to go through a process to learn and eventually become champion. And I think that if Maycee Barber just knows how to maintain that range, knows how to transition quickly and explosively to get her attacks more clean, then she's going to be a champion one day. And I think that she's just young and she has a lot to learn. And with Alexa Grasso, man, bravo to you. 2 wins in a row now. She seems very comfortable in the flyweight division, and now she enters the top 10 of that flyweight division. And she can fight with anyone in that division and give them a real problem, and I can't wait to see that. Lastly, we have the Kelvin Gastelum fight, and he wins by unanimous decision against Ian Heisenich. I wasn't really surprised about this. I don't think you guys were surprised about this either. We all saw that he was going to win. You know, he's been on a 3-fight losing streak, which he shouldn't be ashamed of. You know, he came up against top fighters. The Israel Adesanya fight, which he nearly won. It was 2-2 going into the 5th round. Then you have the Darren Till fight, where Darren Till was just being a lot more careful, controlling the distance, and you know he's an elite striker. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. And then coming up against Michael Chiesa, unluckily going down with a submission. I mean, this 3-fight losing streak for Kelvin especially is nothing to be ashamed of, because he just came up against elite guys. And now finally he's coming back to winning ways, finally look down in that top 10 of the division. I think what's really exciting that I picked out from this fight is that he's trying to wrestle a lot more. He's trying to use his jiu-jitsu a lot more. You know, Kelvin Gastelum was experienced, obviously. We all know that he is a really good wrestler as well. And yeah, there was nothing more to say to that. I think Kelvin controlled the whole of that fight. And Ian Heisenich, man, trying to do the flying knee twice, like Corey, like the other day. I mean, come on, man. And he got easily taken that, slammed onto the canvas. It was insane by Kelvin. I think I really enjoyed seeing that. But this is very interesting for Kelvin, because finally he's using his wrestling a lot more. If he's able to mix that up with the striking, ooh, he's going to be a top fighter in that top 10 division. And a lot of people need to be aware, especially in the middleweight division. So yeah, congrats to Kelvin Gastelum. I hope to see you winning again. And Ian Heisenich, I think you still have a lot to work on, I guess, like with the footwork and especially with, like, you need to make your punches a lot cleaner. Like watching your fights, I see you swing a lot with your head leaning forward. There's still a lot to work on. As you can see, there's a lot of holes in your game. Honestly, I made this joke, especially when watching the fight. When you see Ian Heisenich, he looks like an overgrown baby. He looks like he could star in a, It movie. He can work with Pennywise and like torture the kids. But I'm just joking. But yeah, I'm happy to see Kelvin Gastelum back, and hopefully he can fight with any of the guys in the top 10 division again. There you have it, guys. Those are my thoughts on the 3 main fights that happened in UFC 258. And stay tuned, because my next video is going to be mainly about Kamaru Usman and why he should be appreciated and respected. And I'm really excited to show showcase that video for you guys. So please like, please comment on your thoughts on the fights as well, and please hit the subscribe button. Come on guys, we're on 100 subs now, and we just want to keep growing this MMA channel, and we can do that together. So stay tuned for the next video, and take care.